Hello everyone. I saved this machine from the recycling bin and I thought it would be kind of interesting to take a look at it and see if I can get it going once again. I know just a little bit about this as it is right now. First of all, it came from the computer repair shop that I used to work at, and the work order that was taped to it said something about it needing a hard drive replacement and an upgrade to Windows 7 or Windows 10. This was running Windows XP up until very recently, which is kind of impressive, actually. That's about all I know about it. I didn't check to see what it was in there for last time, but the technician assigned to it last time was me. So I guess I've worked on this before. Let's take a look at the case first. It's kind of a generic case. I've seen it in a couple of slightly different forms, but some of them with this kind of button layout. Just a generic case, I assume. It's got an LG optical drive. This is kind of a newer one, I think. I might actually save this because, well, it's nice, and it would be a nice upgrade to one of the other optical drives I'm currently using. Looks like there used to be some kind of front panel cover there, but that is no longer. There's the little clicky button. So that's gone. It's got a couple of USBs and audio and a card reader writer that it's kind of cool. It has a micro SD card slot. I don't see that on a lot of these multi-card readers. So that's kind of neat. We got power button, reset button. Wow, it's very hard to see what they are though. Unless you look at it from the right angle like you are right now. I can see how that might be easy to mess up the first couple times you use it. A couple power LEDs right there. It's on the bottom. Those are not vents, those are just there. A couple little air holes there. Windows XP product keys. Looks like they are exactly the same thing. It's cut out for a fan on the side. Does not look like it's populated. It looks like it's got one of those like tube-like attachments on it that may or may not work. I'm not sure. Here's the back of the machine. Start from the bottom because why not? It's missing the I/O card or the expansion card bracket that looks like it's not hiding behind there. It would normally fold in and pinch the card tabs in, whatever those are called. But that is not in there. There's a serial card which looks like it says StarTech.com on it. So maybe this is a somewhat newer upgrade. It looks a little newer, not sure. Two USBs that are probably connected to the motherboard. Yep. There's no video card, and I don't see any onboard videos, so that was probably taken out. I'm going to see if what I can find for video cards that might match what this computer, when this computer is from, so we can fire it up and look. Onboard audio, 4 USB, onboard LAN. It's got another printer port, parallel port. Maybe this was used, I mean, I'm assuming they are identical in function. I don't know why you would have needed an extra one unless you had two printers, or maybe this works better as an actual parallel port for communications instead of just for a printer, because this says printer on it. I don't know. Serial port and some PS2 ports. Two nice big fan grills right there, so you can attach a fan to it. And a power supply that doesn't seem to... You know, you can kind of tell a cheap power supply by just looking at it, and something about this, even just the feel of this plastic, seems very, very cheap. And given the case, I would not doubt that it is indeed cheap. So, let's go ahead and take the cover off and get inside and see what we've got. Okay, side panel removed. So what have we got in here? Push it back for a little better lighting. A lot of stuff. It is a busy machine. First thing I'm noticing is that the RAM has been taken out and it's sitting down there. Hopefully the RAM is good. What have we got though? DDR2 800. It says 2 gig, so it looks like it's a 2 gig kit maybe. 2G/128 times 8. So maybe it is a 2 gig stick. So 4 gigs of RAM, possibly. If this was running XP at the time, of course, it only supports 3 1/4. So maybe it's 2 total, maybe it's 4 total. I don't know yet. Here's that StarTech card. It looks kind of like a recent card to me. Don't know what its purpose was, other than obviously what functionality it provides, but I don't know why it was in there. Let's see, it's got a SATA cable, so there looks like there was a hard drive sitting right about here at one point. Go ahead and maybe when I fire this up and try to get it going again, I'll put an SSD in it for the sake of the video. You know, well, I guess you can just tell by looking at the writing, can't you? What I was going to say is, if you've ever worked with a cheap power supply, you'll know it when you feel it. And the wires, it's kind of hard to explain. Maybe it's just the way that they bend, and certainly the connectors. It's so cheap. And then I took a look at the name on here, and this is not necessarily a reputable brand, but just the font of it all, you can tell it's just, it's so cheap. This says 600 watts. No, it's not a 600 watt power supply. If that's a 600 watt power supply, then my Toyota Camry is a 600 horsepower car. Let's just say that. So optical drive's hooked up. That is, that's not the optical drive I thought it would be. I thought it would be a SATA optical drive, but it's actually an older one that's IDE. So I guess I don't really need to keep that around. I'll see what speed it is and everything, compare it with the one I'm currently hoarding. The USB. Okay, so this is, I remember what I did now. I installed this media card reader in it so many years ago. That was me. I remember this now. I don't know why I remembered that. That was kind of strange. I saw this black cable, and it went over there. And something about that just jogged something in my memory. So yes, I installed the media card reader. This guy needed to get his pictures off of a new camera, and that's about the extent of what I remember. But yeah, okay, now I remember. So there's USB and audio, they go down there. It looks like there's a ton of USB headers on there. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 right there. That's probably it, but that seems like a large number. There's also 8 SATA ports on here. My goodness, that is a lot of SATA ports, even by today's standards. Although now we're going down to non-cabled drives, so... It's got a, what do we got here? It looks like that's the IDE. So this was one of those machines. If I had to guess, this motherboard is from about 2008, right around the time when IDE was pretty much on its way out, and SATA was the king for connecting drives of the storage variety. So that's cool. This RAM... This is DDR2, so it looks like it was in this system at one point. I don't know why it was taken out. Let's see if I can do this one-handed. Kind of. Let's pop that RAM back in there. Close up the other ones just because. So maybe this will work now. I don't know what CPU this is. Again, going with my guess of around a 2007 to 2009 machine, I think. It's probably some kind of Core 2 Duo, maybe a Core 2 Duo, I don't remember my numbers. The number Q6600 comes to mind. I thought that was more of an enthusiast one. Q80, or P8500, I don't remember my Core 2 Duo stuff. Yeah, we'll see when we fire it up. First, let's take a look at what the board is. Can get the camera under there. P45 Neo 3. Not a board I'm terribly familiar with, but I do remember seeing a lot of MSI boards with this kind of heat piping on it. in the past and thought they were just really neat looking. So I am going to go scrounge up a video card that would suit the build and an SSD, plug it all in, and, well, we'll just see what we get, see what happens. So the graphics card that I was able to find that would kind of suit the build is one from around 2007. It's the GeForce 8600 GTS, half gig card. Perfectly adequate for testing, of course, and kind of fits the build, so hopefully everything will work nicely. And I got the this 64 gig SATA SSD that I bought a bunch of just for purposes like this. And I've got everything plugged in, so we have power lights. Let's see if I can mash delete probably on an MSI board to get in the BIOS. Yep, entering setup. So all that went by pretty fast. Hopefully I can see the specs of this thing. Wow, it's got the correct time and... Wow, it's got the correct the time and date. That's what I meant to say. That's pretty impressive. Sees the optical drives, sees my SSD, system information. That's what we're going for. Core 2 Duo E8500. So I was going somewhere with the 8500 or whatever I said. 3.16 gigahertz, 4 gigs of physical RAM, so that is two 2 gig sticks. Cool. Advanced BIOS features. Let's see what we got for temperatures. CPU, of course, it's just came in out of my car and has been sitting here, but looks like it's settling in at about 95 degrees. That's perfectly fine. Cell menu. Is this overclocking capable? Looks like it might be. Looks like we got a bunch of things to change. Well, I'm certainly not going to change them, but it's kind of cool to know that I could if I wanted to. User settings. Huh, what a neat little BIOS. I'd like to... Memory Z, does it have a memory test built in? No, just memory specs. Stuff that I don't know how to read. What was I going to say? Oh, I want to see if I can find out the BIOS version. Oh, there it is right there. Maybe. Version 2.16? I don't know. I'll try to find that out so I can do a BIOS update. Because what I'd like to do right now is pop in my Windows XP install disk, which I conveniently have right here. This is I don't know where I found this, but it's an official Windows XP disk from Dell with Service Pack 3 on it already. I had never seen one of those. I'd only ever seen the official ones with SP2. So this is kind of a convenient thing for me to have. Not that it would be too much of a problem to just make my own with something like Enlight. But yeah, gonna go ahead and install that. And because I just want to save time and so I don't have to record it all, I think I'll just go ahead, install Windows, get all the drivers set up, and transfer over some games and maybe 3D Mark, something like that, and see what this thing can do. So I'm going to go ahead and do that right now. Okay, it's a couple hours later, and I'm going to apologize right up front for this kind of awful pattern on the screen. I've tried just about everything I can think of to try to get that to go away, but it's not having it. So this is the best I can do. Sorry. So I got Windows XP installed. It went without a hitch, and I got the drivers from their website, and those installed without a problem. Video card, everything's installed. And everything shows up properly. Core 2 Duo E8500 with 3 gigs of RAM. Windows XP SP3. And I didn't bother installing that because I couldn't be bothered, but yep, 8600 GTS. So we got a nice little system going here. And, excuse me, I thought it would be interesting if we ran some benchmarks on it. So this is a machine built with hardware from around 2009, 2007, 2008, 2009. And I thought it would be kind of cool if we ran 3D Mark 2001. Man, that looks so bad. So sorry about that. I've already gone ahead and set up some tests, but as you can see, I haven't run the test yet. So we're going to be running at full screen resolution. For this screen is 1024 by 768, 32-bit color, anti-aliasing, which I thought I turned on. Where do I change that? Change. Huh. Okay, I guess it didn't keep my settings here. I just set it to whatever looked the best. So go ahead and turn the camera. There we go. Let's just see how this machine handles a 3D Mark run from 2001, which is 8 years before most of this hardware was released. Let's hit benchmark and see what happens. And we're done. So that came in at 21,900 3D marks. I think that's actually really high, but I couldn't tell you. That's what it is. If you know about this kind of thing, well, there you go. That's cool. So I got through the whole thing, and the 98 or the 8600 GTS was getting quite a bit loud. At some points, it was getting a little hot, I think. But what I think can stress it a little bit more is probably GTA San Andreas. So hopefully I move my saved game files into here. If not, well, guess we'll have to start over. Or maybe I'll just grab them and then come back to the video. But let's see how this runs. I haven't changed anything yet. So maybe it's at the max settings, maybe not. Draw distance, frame limiter. 3 is as high. Yeah, alright, well, everything's already at its maximum. And there's my save game. Cool. Let's see how this goes. I don't have up... Oh, there it is. Okay. We won't do that. This is a non-violence YouTube channel. Oops, that wasn't me. We'll just rip people out of their car. I think that sounds like a better idea. Not violent, we're just suggesting things. Uh-oh. Well, I don't know how to turn off music. Hopefully YouTube doesn't somehow find out those 3 seconds of a song. Come on. I wish I knew how to turn off the radio, because I want to see how this thing does in, oh boy. Well, maybe I'll just mute it. I mean, it's fine. It doesn't seem laggy. I think just GTA San Andreas is it's starting to show its age. At least maybe the game engine is in some aspects. This car... What? That car spawned inside of itself. Everything is blowing up. Video card's getting a little noisy because of all the explosions. And I'm on fire. Okay, well that just about sums up GTA for me. So I handled it pretty well. GTA 3, I copied that. Maybe we can try that out. I'm sure that'll run just perfectly. Start game, load game. That one, I guess. So overall, this is a computer that seems to be holding up pretty well. You know, it can play a couple older titles, much older titles if I'm honest, and yeah. Oh, man. GTA 3 looks so bad nowadays. It's really bad. Still though, I've got many, many, many hours, probably months into this game. Still fun. Just, come on. Oh, I can't stall? Yeah. Okay. Well, guess that's enough game playing. I don't really know what else to show you, other than, yeah, it was a free machine, it works, and it can play some games. I think that's pretty neat. Again, the specs there, Core 2 Duo E8500, 3.16 gigahertz, 3/4 gigs of RAM, and an SSD. Cool. And I guess that just about wraps up this video. It's been a really long time since I've done kind of a video like this. Even the $10 PC series, which wasn't really a series, it was 2 videos, was somewhat like this, but it had been a very long time, probably since when I lived at my parents' house, that I had just got a random computer, fired it up, and went over all the little details of it. So that was kind of fun to do. Alright guys, I thank you very much for watching. If you've got any comments, questions, suggestions for more videos, suggestions for this machine in general, I'll have it around for a little while. Feel free to put those in the comments below and I will read them, probably. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.